sound. Thank you, Kai. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been like over a week since I last did a stream, which is nuts. And I wanted to do one solo. I've been covering the final dossier with Cameron at Obnoxious and Anonymous, as some of you might know. But I wanted to do sort of a solo video on my channel. I know some of you have been asking me to do like sort of a little video here, so I figured why not. It's a slow Monday. Finally got all my eggs in order, and I figured we'd just riff on this. I feel like we've already talked about it to death. I've already talked about this book to death. This may or may not be my one and only video on this, but I also might have a friend of mine come on and discuss his perspective of the book, because it's great to, like, I love it. I know a lot of you do too, but I want to see some counterpoints. I want to see why people aren't liking this. Whether the reasons are, like, their own reasons are valid or whatever. But I'm just curious to see what angle they're coming from, because we know there's a lot of discrepancies in this book. We know that there's some things that just don't add up, and you're left to wonder whether it's Mark Frost himself, the editors, or maybe just the way he chose to tell it. All these inconsistencies brought to light by Tammy, who is trying to get all the facts herself, and she's not really. I mean, she seems to be just throwing pickles at a wall. Or what movie is that from? I can't remember. You're not getting the book till Christmas, Gary. I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you, because we're definitely going to discuss it for a little while, at least for an hour or so. So if you guys have anything you want to discuss, please shout it out. But I feel like I want to work my way from the back, because I haven't really discussed the ending anywhere yet, and I think it's pretty interesting, mostly because of the way they went about the time displacement stuff, the way they're dealing with time in Twin Peaks universe, which, to be honest, I'm a little underwhelmed by. But it doesn't take away from it for me. I was just expecting something a little bit more extravagant, a little bit more complex. But maybe that's the snob in me. I don't know. That I want something a little bit more. Something a little bit more, something I could dive deeper into and analyze a lot more. Because it gave away a lot, but it also. The thing I'm probably most disappointed about is that Mark Frost sort of subscribes to the Back to the Future kind of timeline theory, where, like, if you change something in the past, if you go to the past and you change something, then it changes it in the future, and things start slowly fading away and changing, which now I guess is what we saw with the Chalfont at Laura Palmer's house. And as we know, Gary, I'm glad you're on board and you're not worried about spoilers. As we know from the book, that Leland, offs himself, and Sarah kind of is like a loner widow, person, and she probably just did not live in that house much longer after that. So yeah, that's the only thing that really kind of disappointed me about, was just the time travel, theory that they adopt here, or the time whatever. I'm not even sure what to call it. I call it the Back to the Future kind of, theory, where it doesn't really, it changes things, but changes them slowly, like things start falling apart rather than everything changing at once. It's like a slow progression, and we see that because some people remember. We have Laura or Carrie Page remember that she remembers her childhood in that house in the torment before she was, whisked away by our white knight, Agent Dale Cooper. Nathan says this would have been better as an addendum to the secret history. On its own, it was too cookie cutter on the characters, what we expected, and not much mystery. I agree. I think some places gave away too much, and other places probably not enough. I don't know. I do think I subscribe to Cameron's theory that this was definitely supposed to be part of the first one. It just seems that way. It seems like they left stuff out intentionally. It does, because especially with Jerry's chapter, it kind of adds a little bit more to the character if we had gotten his chapter before. Because I don't think it took away from, there was no mystery with Jerry this season. He was just high as hell the whole time. So I don't understand why they held that for this. It was cool to see a Jerry chapter, but I don't know why it was in the final dossier. Like, I guess it was like sort of comic relief for this thing, but this wasn't as heavy as the secret history, which I would say was pretty heavy. I have it right there. I have not reread it. I planned on rereading it before this came out, but that was a lofty goal. So what was I was gonna touch on something. I sort of love how Tammy wraps up at the end here, talking to Gordon, and how it makes her seem like a real FBI agent and not just a model that kind of fell into it, like Christabel, who, don't get me wrong, I love Christabel, but she was more, despite certain scenes where she got to actually, work and like add something to it, she was just sort of there. Eye candy, I guess, which I don't even like saying, but it's the truth. I feel weird saying it. I love that. There's not much bold in this book except, let's see, where is it? Let's see if I could. Laura Palmer did not die, but Tammy remembers it. That's why the whole Back to the Future, everybody slowly losing their memory thing. Is kind of funny to me. I really wish they went another way with that. Also, a lot of the theories they kind of confirm in the book, we kind of figured out while the show was still on, with very little context. I know Mark Frost said at one of the signings he did that if we didn't, we should have figured out who the little girl was by now. And we did. That was probably one of most people's first guesses. Who the little girl was, but then we kind of decided that would be too easy, and we went on our own crazy theory route, but it turned out to be Sarah Judith Novak Palmer the entire time, and most of us were right. Let's see. Kai says Jerry was being controlled by aliens, roaming the world like a hunter-gatherer as the natives do. 'Cause I don't know how much he was hunting, well, maybe he was more of a cultivist or botanist. Because he became, they say it in the book that it's like the most profitable horn enterprise, period. His marijuana company. I don't know I guess it's recreational and medical. I'm guessing he does everything marijuana. And, breeds these, monster strains that, everybody around the world or around the country want to get their hands on, which is interesting. I wonder if New Jersey's going to get their hands in some Jerry horn pot once it becomes legal here. Maybe in the next year or two. Let's see, what are you guys saying here? Nathan says, overall, I like the books. Wouldn't mind more from Frost post or pre-season 4 if we get it. I would like another book. I would like, but if I get another book, I would like. Now I don't know if they would do this, but this just came to me. It'd be pretty cool if they could get Jennifer Lynch to write almost like a new Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. I don't think this would ever happen, but just think of it. That'd be pretty cool if we get sort of a canon or You know, sort of how this is like a Mark Frost canon. We get a Jennifer Lynch canon for, you know, Carrie Page. I don't know how that would work out because we have Laura's diary to a point, and then I guess when Cooper saves her, that's when it ends. Maybe we have somebody else find the diary and start filling it out. I'm not really sure how everything progresses after Laura is taken by Cooper and displaced. Do the same things play out? Does it end a lot quicker? I don't think they gave a timeline for how soon Leland offs himself. But it would be interesting to see how if it is continued at all. Maybe Carrie Page starts a diary, because maybe it's just innate in her to write her thoughts and emotions down. I'd be super interested to see that. Yes, the book is pretty much on the face at all times, a bit anti-Twin Peaks. I like it for world building purposes and sort of rounding people out, but there's some things that I do wish was better left to the imagination, like the whole time travel stuff. I like more abstract theories about time travel and the way time is affected by, let's say, time travel. It would split off into all, multiple dimensions, which it might still, but the way I'm saying it, it's all, kind of linear, and he just changed it. He went back. Oh, gamer dude, bro, thanks for subscribing. Sweet. I haven't seen that little thing go off in a little while. If you subscribe, that thing goes off. Happens all the time here in Colorado. Not that I would know. Oh, I know what you guys are doing in Colorado. That couldn't have been because of pot alone. Probably not. Definitely not. But again, they were saying he made some crazy strains. So who knows what he put in it or what he crossed, bred. They don't really go that far into it, but he might have made some kind of acid like pot mix, if that's even possible. I don't know. I'm not much into that scene. I don't know how it really works, to be honest. Lewis says the book is Jow Day. No need for all the explanations. Rather have fun discussing theories than having all the answers spoon-fed to us. I like having some answers, but not all. Not even like, not the big, so sort of overarching answers that kind of, I don't know, allow you to sort of think abstractly about this world. Like the thing that did bother me, and I've been saying it the whole stream already, is that, it's the Back to the Future kind of effect, cause and effect thing. Go back in time, pull her from where she was and send her back, and all this stuff doesn't happen, and it erases some things that happened to the future. Memories change, but overall it's more or less the same linear thing. It's just things are changed now. And the whole thing of what year is it? That's interesting. I wonder what year it is. I guess maybe it's 2017. Maybe it's a couple of years from now. Maybe it's like 2020. Maybe we'll find out. Whatever year he's in, maybe that's when Twin Peaks is gonna come back. I really have no theories. That didn't really answer that. You could say Carrie Page is older. She looks like she's, about 20, 30 years older. Not to say Cheryl Lee looks old, but, she doesn't look like 16, 17, 18-year-old Laura Palmer. Much older. Are there scripts, screenplays floating about for season 3? Would be cool to read along with the Blu-ray. I don't believe so. I haven't seen any. Nothing official anyway. I'm not sure. Hey, gamer dude, bro. What's up? Those answers or information should be in the visual material, the show itself. I guess. I mean, I don't mind supplemental stuff, like books. Like, this is cool. It expands world. It opens it up. It gives you a little bit more. It gives a little more to the hardcore fans like us. But there's certain things that don't need to be explained. It doesn't really take away. It doesn't leave anybody out in like the cold if you don't explain it. But I think if you do explain it, it kind of takes a little bit away from the fun of it. But maybe we're not supposed to have fun. I don't know. I don't know what the motive is behind anything anymore. I'm at a loss. Especially if there were time descriptors for scenes. I mean, I don't know anybody that's cut and pasted and re-edited episodes yet to sort of make sense of the timeline. But then again, maybe everything we saw was linear, and it's just, since Cooper brought Laura back, and the closer he was to bringing her back, the more erratic it was, because it was becoming a paradox at one point. So, it just showed like how many little things can change and how many things are constant in our world. Like Shelley working at the double R, that's a constant. She's always going to be working at the double R. Norma working at the double R, that's going to be a constant. She might veer off and do the franchise stuff. She might stay with that big business dude, or she might, go put her hands on Ed, and that's it. And according to the book, that happened. That is the new timeline. Maybe before Cooper goes back, they never end up together. But since Cooper went back, for some reason, some chain of events happened, and Norma and Ed were together. Maybe, I don't know. I think a lot of what we saw in The Return was the new timeline. It seems like it's a lot to break down, especially with the sort of the Back to the Future. I'm going to keep calling it that kind of time theory that we're playing with, their way of working time. It'd be interesting to go back and watch it and see what the constants are and what could have possibly changed around it to cause certain scenarios. Now, Bobby as Sheriff Briggs, that probably was a constant. There's things like in Doctor Who, fixed points, where things are just going to happen a certain way at a certain time in a certain place, no matter what you do. It's just really interesting. Let's see. Kai says, so the final changes in the final history, like Pete being a checkers champion instead of a pro chess player, are because of alternate realities. See, the thing is, we're just seeing Cooper change things. I think The Return, we're seeing Cooper change things to the point of Laura Palmer's disappearance when he takes her. But I don't know. Does that cause a ripple of time? Does that ripple backward before he does that? What else does he do like before he goes to save Laura Palmer? Does he go straight there? Does he go somewhere else? What else is he messing with? What else has he messed with while he was in the lodge? That's what I want to know, because now we know they have access to different points in time and places through the vortexes. I don't know if Cooper was sitting on a throne somewhere in like the Black Lodge, just doing his wobbly hand and changing things, setting things in motion. We know the fireman has been putting pieces in place for a while now to save Laura Palmer. But again, I guess things had to play out a certain way for them to do that. Unless, again, we subscribe to the theory of time where everything is happening at once, constantly. It's just like a plane where everything is just time. All of time is happening at once, and it's not linear. So if you affect one thing, it's going to sort of domino, but it's still going to take place in the same thing. It's not going to branch off. I don't know. There's a lot at play. And again, I think a lot of us think of it more in depth than maybe David Lynch and Mark Frost do. I know Mark Frost is into occult and supernatural and all that stuff. I don't know how much he is into, quantum physics and string theory and all that stuff. I don't know how deep he's like dipped his foot or his toe in, but I don't know. I like to think it's more abstract than it is. I think that's where David Lynch comes in. his abstractions and his lack of answering questions, you know, is probably more of a gift than, you know, people always want answers from him. And at this point, I get why he doesn't tell them, because the more we know, the more it's like, oh, well, it's kind of showing all your tricks and maybe your lack of you know, tricks. Not to say it's a bad thing. I just think maybe the less you show, the more interesting it seems. To sort of come at it at a cynical point of view, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I've had too much time to think about it. But again, I do love it. So don't think I'm just bashing on it. I think it's interesting, but I think there's so much more that could have been done. But of course, you know, if I was writing this, I would be enveloped in what's happening here and not focus so much on the abstractions and trying to do things differently and, you know, making it more complex than it probably needs to be. I don't know. That's just me. Let's see. Bolton in reply to Kai, things never add up no matter how many pieces are put together. He never intended to. I don't even try. I must confess I was tricked into that for a moment. Not anymore. That's fair. Nora says things do make sense, but for ourselves, not because of what we think. That makes sense. You need space for your own imagination. I agree with that, Jason. Interesting that Tamara mentions little to nothing of Vegas connections. That is interesting. I don't think... Do they mention Vegas at all? I don't remember. Oh, yes. Cameron's here. Let's see. When was the date for that, Cameron? I think I have the poster here. If you guys don't know, Cameron is doing he's setting up an Indiegogo campaign to fund his fan film. The campaign starts on the 23rd, which is 10 days from now, next Thursday. I will post the link. I believe he might be doing a stream that day. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll answer in the comments. But I will post about it on Twitter. You can find my Twitter right here. You could always see most updated information on streams and all goings on up in this corner up here. But it's going to be on Indiegogo. It's going to be awesome. I know a little bit. I'm into it. I really dig the idea, so I think you guys will too. It's what a lot of us would like to see happen in Twin Peaks verse. So I hope you guys are excited, because I'm really psyched. Cameron's saying there will be countdown videos to the launch of the campaign. So you guys, I know I see you guys all the time here. Check out his channel, check out our Twitters for information about that fan film. This was, you know, this is going to be real exciting. I don't know if there's ever been this much of a build up to a fan film, a Twin Peaks fan film, but you know, I trust Cameron with the content and with the story. I hope you guys do too. So more information on that as it comes out. But again, the date that campaign launches is the 23rd of this month. So, you know, Thanksgiving. I believe that's Thanksgiving. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see that thing fleshed out, and see what Cameron does with it. I'm sure he'll release more information, you know, as soon as the campaign begins. So, guys, keep your eyes and ears and social media open. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program. Cameron, if you want to hang out, if you want to drop some details in the comments, please do. Feel free. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to touch about this beauty thing, by the way, it's just like a pretty book at that, with the dust jacket off. I really like it. It seems so official. It's such a cool thing, and the artwork in there is pretty cool. I like the last pages with the woodsman and stuff. Now here's something you'll really like, or really love. Let's see. So guys, I'd really like to know your final thoughts on the final dossier. I know we're still trying to crack things and pull them apart, excuse me. But I really want to know what you guys think. I haven't talked to you guys for a while, and I'm sure you have a lot to say. And you know I love participating with the chat as much as possible. And I've seen all your faces and names here before. Thank you guys for watching. There will be more Twin Peaks videos. This isn't the end of Twin Peaks. But I will be talking about Justice League. I'm seeing it Thursday. Just dropping some ideas from other videos. Justice League Thursday. I'm going to see that. As you guys know, I'm a DC guy. So I got an early screening for that. So I'm going to be covering that if you are interested. Check Twitter sometime around 10 Thursday night. I'll probably do a live review. Or I will do it recorded depending on how late it is. But, alright, getting back to Twin Peaks. Kai's also a DC guy. You know, I think it's just whatever you're born with, like whatever you're exposed to from a young age. Like Batman was put in my hand when I was a little baby, so I just grew up loving those characters. I love that. I kind of want to get this as a poster. Would that be too cheesy? I don't know. I have so much stuff to hang. I have the poster by Josh Howard somewhere on the floor. I love his artwork. If you guys haven't seen his stuff, Josh Howard is really great. He made a poster for every episode, I believe, of The Return, and some extras. So check out Josh Howard. I'm gonna name drop him because he also has a Kickstarter thing going for his comic book, which I'm really excited for. Kai says you have a superly large Batman comic collection. You have to send me a picture or something. I'm a sicko Batman fan too. Yeah, whoever did I don't know who did the design for this, but I really I love graphic design. I'm not crazy good graphic designer, but I just think it's so it's not excessive, but it makes a point. When I got this in the mail, I was like, oh, this is cool. It was so cool to hold and to look at. And I love the photography in this book. This front page is just gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Yeti Popstar. I'm always live when you have insomnia. I don't know what it is. I don't sleep anymore either, so I'm with you there. I stay up so late these days. But yeah, maybe I don't know if it says it in here who actually designed. Oh yeah, jacket designed by Headcase Design. So I guess it was just a design company that did the jacket. But who? Maybe somebody at Flatiron did that inside art. Well, I'm sure they did, but the radio station, I love that. I really wish that they would make prints. I think that would be some cool merch. Some cool merch to put out, just prints of stills, or lithographs or something. I don't know. I'm not crazy about lithographs, but like that, I would love that. It's so sick, but just the importance and the impact of episode 8, that would be cool to have. And somebody just walks in your house and be like, why do you have a print of an atomic bomb going off? What's wrong with you? And then you show them part 8 and watch them lose their minds. Leslie says my son's name is Kai. we have another Kai. Hi Kai. Reggie, I will be seeing Justice League this Thursday. I got the earliest screening I can at 6:30 on Thursday. Pretty good seats too. Danielle says she wants a print of that Blue Rose page. Yes. All right, now I'm just gonna nerd out about like the actual art in the page. Oh, they have the. I don't think it says who did the artwork. Head of case design. That's the only thing. All images from Twin Peaks, courtesy of Lynch Frost Productions. Front jacket and title image, page image by Kevin Franklin. Back jacket image, A Clearing Winter Storm by William Toddy. Inside jacket image by Ken Crawford. I have a little bit of a cold, guys. I think Danielle's talking about this page, right? By the way, me and Danielle hung out. We were going to do a stream, but we were wiped from walking in Central Park all day. So maybe sometime soon I'll get her on and we could do another stream. She can tell you guys what she thought of the final Dossier. Dossier. It's fun to say. Richard Beimer has tons of behind-the-scenes photos from the original series. Don't know if he ever published, but some are on the interweb. I've seen some of those. I would love something like that, just like a photo book from like BTS Twin Peaks photo book. I would buy it, even if it was like a coffee book kind of print. I would be totally sold. BTS footage or photos from the return. Just make like a season 1, 2, return, Fire Walk with Me, BTS stuff. I'd love BTS, like a BTS image book for all Lynch things. It's just, I don't know. I love that kind of stuff. Thanks, Eva. Didn't Lynch just release a new photography book? I believe he released one called Nudes. I don't know if it's out yet. I know they did a soft release maybe. Because I looked it up on Amazon because I was going to buy it, which it's like kind of pricey. But it's just another great thing to have. I'm getting really into photography books and art books. But I looked at pricings for some of Lynch's work, and I'm not there yet. Every frame in episode 8 is art. Love wall art. I'm there with you. I'll put them all in my bathroom. All those different colors. I need to get back to where I can get that book. No, I mean the Kindle version is cool for efficiency. You can just read through it probably a lot quicker than this, but it's just cool to have it. I don't know. It's like nice to see on the shelf something Twin Peaks. That's why I have all my Twin Peaks DVDs and Funkos up there. God, the adjacent page is Bob. Yeah, that's Bob. This page, you mean? It's Sarah as the jumping man, the woodsman, and then Bob. Reggie says he was doing a book signing in France. I've been trying to... The thing is, he doesn't really announce his signings, or if he does, I don't catch them. Because I believe he did a signing in Union Square in Manhattan. And if he does another one, I definitely want to go and get a signed copy. Maybe if I do, I'll give this one away. But I really need to figure out if he's doing a signing in New York anytime soon. I would love to, shake his hand and get a signed copy of the book. Say thank you or whatever. I don't know what I would say. I wouldn't really I wouldn't push or pry about anything. I would just, say thank you. Thank you, Mark Frost, for making one of my favorite shows of all time. No problem, Leslie. Katrina says she's going to get it when she's back in North America, Blu-ray with all those sweet extras. The Blu-ray comes out next month. I haven't seen a drop in the Blu-ray price yet on Amazon. I'm kind of waiting to get it. Maybe I'll just pre-order it and say what the hell. I know Amazon at the time of release, you'll buy it for the lowest price. They'll give it to you for the lowest price. So maybe it's worth it to pre-order on Amazon. Reggie says, I wonder if the photos will be actual nudes. Well, he kind of I've seen some of them before. Some of them are actual nudes that he kind of like mosaics and mixes up, and it's very modern art-ish. Some of them are a little bit more abstract, and some of them are a little more forward and blunt. But they're really cool. I mean, not everything Lynch does is like golden, but I've seen a lot of his nude art, and it's I dig it. Join his meditation cult. I actually have on my nightstand, I have a transcendental meditation book that I'm reading. I think it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to get into it, but I'd like to know more about it. Would be cool to meet Mark Frost and thank him. I agree. Since I met Kyle this year, which was awesome, it'd be cool to meet more Twin Peaks peeps. I'm shooting to go to Twin Peaks Fest next year. Hopefully I can manage. I'll probably stay in Seattle, which I love. I haven't been to in a very long time. But I want to go to Twin Peaks Fest next year. I feel like it's time. I've been watching it for a couple of years now. I think this year was my 5-year anniversary with Twin Peaks. I'm still kind of a newbie compared to most people, but I do love it. And I'll probably, retain more of the original series as time goes on. But I didn't, I wasn't around for when the original series came up, so I wasn't totally immersed in it and watched every episode, a dozen times. I've watched them probably a dozen times in 5 years, but it's such a different thing. Now with the return, I was fully immersed because it was week to week, and I was watching it each episode 3 times a week, and I haven't really watched it since it ended. But once the Blu-ray comes out, I'm gonna jump in after I watch that huge BTS movie behind this, thing that they're gonna put on the Blu-ray. So I'm excited for that. I'm so excited for that. I don't know if you guys saw the one clip they put out with Kyle and Laura in the hotel room, and and Lynch goes, just like Blue Velvet 25 years later. That thing cracks me the hell up. Maybe it's just an excuse for Lynch to get Christabel. I don't know. He has so many good ideas and so many pure ideas, and then he has some questionable ones. I think he was more interested in doing that for Laura Dern and Kyle. Although Kyle strips in Blue Velvet, so. Do I have a favorite Roadhouse song or Twin Peaks theme in general? Maybe this is an easy answer, but I do love Shadow by the Chromatics. That one kind of... I had heard the song once before, but it didn't really move me the same way it did when I heard it in Twin Peaks. It kind of gave it a whole new meaning, and I ended up really loving it. Let me see. Shadow I love. She's Gone. I love 9 Inch Nails. I've been a 9 Inch Nails fan for a while. Although that's not the best 9 Inch Nails song, but it was cool. Just You, right? Always Just You. Yeah, I probably would say Chromatics is probably my favorite one. Worst Roadhouse performer? You know what? I like them all. I don't know. That's a hard one, because I listened to a lot of these bands before they were on. I don't think I could pick a least favorite. They all nailed it. I was annoyed with the Rebecca Del Rio No Stars one because it went on a little bit too long, but I do love this song, so that's not really James Hurley. I didn't want to say it, but obviously James Hurley. Although I'll admit, I listen to Just You every now and then. It is a nice soft 50s kind of tune. I actually have the Roadhouse on vinyl. It sounds really cool on vinyl. Sycamore Tree would be ultra creepy. Sycamore Tree is definitely my favorite. Off the the original soundtrack. When I first watched the finale and that song came on, I was like, whoa. I was so tripped out. But Sycamore Tree is probably my favorite, but the love theme is probably another one. Laura Palmer's theme, it definitely gets me. I love all the Angelo stuff. That's beautiful, Angelo. I don't feel like doing David Lynch. I'm kind of sick. I can't really do the David Lynch today. Julie Cruz. Yeah. Anything by Julie Cruz. Sometimes I listen to Julie Cruz on car rides while I'm looking out the window, and I get all what's the word? I can't think of it, but I get all high-minded and stuff. Hello, Felipe. What's going on? I'm Portuguese, so if you ever want to comment anything in Portuguese, I might be able to understand it. Eva Katrina says the Rebecca Del Rio song was beautiful, but it ticked me off that it was just long, and it made the episode end like 15 minutes early. Yeah, that's the only reason why I would that I disliked it remotely. It's nothing about the song itself. It's a beautiful song, but that episode was like, really, this is the end right here? Starring Kyle MacLachlan already? Are you kidding me? So I have to get ready for the gym soon, so I'm gonna have to probably leave you guys. But I want you guys to ask me some questions you have about the final dossier, or leave your comments about it if you're still working through it. If you wish something was different, I want to know what you guys think about this. Some things you wish they kept, some things you wish they got rid of. You know what? I mentioned this in I think one of Cameron's videos, but the whole Audrey actually being in a psych ward thing, that is probably the most irritating to me. I kind of wanted more for that. I kind of expected something completely out of this world, but someone that has mental distress and is harmed and dealt with God knows what else, it makes sense for them to be in that kind of place. But I just wish more happened with Audrey, and for Annie, of course. But the thing with Annie, I feel like the Annie section gives me some hope, because I feel like Mark Frost did this whole catatonic I'm fine thing to sort of save her. If we want to use Annie later, we'll save her, make her catatonic, make nothing happen to her. She's just laying down. She's unresponsive. She's somewhere else in her head. But on the anniversary of the night she goes in the Black Lodge, she says, "I'm fine." So that was probably the most exciting prospect for me, because in my mind I'm seeing it as Mark Frost saving Annie for later, and saving Audrey for later. Although I guess she had a little bit more to do, just ever so, just a tiny bit more. Kai, Chet Desmond. I don't even want to talk about Chet Desmond, because we got so little Chet Desmond, and I feel like he's such a cool character, and I want more Chet Desmond. If we ever get any more Twin Peaks, I want to know about Chet Desmond. Where did he go? Was he sucked up into the vortex, which I'm assuming he was? Now, with the current bag of information we have, maybe he was sucked up. Maybe he's in the maybe he's with the firemen. Maybe he's above the convenience store. I don't know. But I do want to know where Chet Desmond is. Annie's not catatonic anymore because Cooper changed the timeline, right? But does she get does it change because I don't know. I feel like maybe because she went to the Black Lodge, she might be unaffected by this time thing. I don't know. See, I don't know how things work. Maybe she's not catatonic anymore, but I hope she still does end up with Norma in Twin Peaks because that would be really nice. Norma needs to take care of her. Annie's story is so sad and tragic. And I was watching the beginning of season 2 the other day, and she seems so happy. Well, not happy, but she's, she has pep to her step. And then after reading this, like what happened right before she got to Twin Peaks, I'm like, is she okay up here? Like, how was she, so cool as a cucumber after all this terrible stuff has happened to her? But I'm going to suspend my disbelief for a little while. Love Annie, though. Danielle says, Margaret's eulogy was perfect, made me cry. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It was beautiful. That's probably the only part I've reread since. I mean, I've reread a couple parts to help with the videos, but that's the one I willingly went back and reread because it's just, I don't know. Mark Frost did a good job with that. Maybe actual Coop could draw Annie out of her damage. It'd be cool to see if they continue and, Coop runs into Annie and Annie kind of brings him back. I think Annie would be... To make Annie sort of give her a little bit more importance and, power. Of course, Annie's role wouldn't be to bring Cooper back, but I think having those two, Cooper's with Laura now, which is also huge. And I think if we do see a season 4, Laura is going to take center stage instead of Cooper, which is I'm totally cool with. I want to see Cheryl Lee knock it out of the park. What little we got of her was just very good, very good. Spicy meatball. I don't know. I just want to see more of her as Carrie Page or Laura Palmer. I want to see her, knock it out. She just gives me chills. And those last scenes of them driving, although nothing happens, they were, I don't know. Something about her face and the way she tells a story with her eyes. God. Where's Chet? He's in Oregon. Oregon. I just enjoy yelling that out for no reason. I was at a party the other day and I just started yelling Oregon and people were like, what the hell's wrong with him? One person got what I was referencing. I wish nothing but the best for them. Maybe Chet is in the teapot with Jeffries, and that's why it's slippier in here. Let me open that for you. I'm not a Diane fan, to be honest. Unpopular opinion time. I don't think we got really much of Diane. Or a real Diane, anyway. We got Tulpa Diane. And I'm not sure. I don't know. I really have no emotions about Diane, to be honest. I don't. I'm not like her. I love Laura Dern, but the character of Diane was better as sort of this, hidden figure. I don't know. But I would like to see Diane fleshed out more as a character and get a sense of what that double Diane thing was, because I still don't really have any concrete theories about what that is. Maybe they can make Annie become a roller girl in a new timeline. I mean, Heather Graham is still kicking it, so she probably could pull off whatever they want. I forgot what she's in. She's in something new. I was watching Austin Powers 2 the other day, and she was. I forgot how funny she was in that. That movie's hysterical. Frost said we don't get Desmond because he and Lynch didn't get any ideas on how to fit him into the story. I don't like that excuse. You could have. There's so many. Get rid of the Becky Stevens story. What the hell you need that? Why? That story wasn't that interesting. It showed the sickness of Twin Peaks and the 99%ers, and you had that whole geopolitical thing, millennials that can't really, get it together and they get addicted to drugs because they're just so disenfranchised, and I could go on, but Annie's was erased from the story. Diane is Coop's love now. I think I don't know. I think Diane and Coop's thing was more business focused, if you're getting what I'm saying. They had a job to do, and that was the way they did it with the ritual sex and whatnot, like we read in the Secret History. But there probably was something at some point. I don't know. He never really talks about Diane in that way in the original series, and then all of a sudden they're Diane, and then they start kissing after she comes out of Nido, which I totally don't get at all. Nido was a vessel for... I'm not even going to get into that. Kai says, why the hell was that car chasing them in the last episode that passes them? Was it Judy? So many mysteries. I think that was just another mysterious element, like, oh, somebody's passing us in the dark. Who could that be? I don't think it's anybody. But then again, maybe in 5 years they'll make that somebody. Maybe it's Cooper following Cooper and Diane to stop Cooper. Like, they could go anywhere with it. They just put it there so that if they want to use it again for something later, they can. They left it ambiguous. The car drives around. They can make it anything. Just like when they have Laura scream in Fire Walk With Me when she looks into the forest. Now we know she's screaming at seeing Cooper, or she doesn't know it's Cooper. She thinks it's somebody. Doppel Diane. Reggie says Heather Graham aged the best out of all the cast. Kyle MacLachlan did too. Kyle MacLachlan did, I met him in person. That dude looks ripe. She was in the Mendes Bros thing. I don't think I saw that. Wilton says, yes, lame excuse. He mentioned every irrelevant extra in the story but Desmond. I think Desmond was just a cool character. He was, he's part of the Blue Rose, I believe, or he knew about the Blue Rose, which means Gordon or Albert or somebody trusted him enough to tell him. But then he disappears, and we don't get to see any more Stanley either. I think they were the first part of the freaking movie, and then no word whatsoever. Especially since the return was supposed to be very, Fire Walk With Me centric, and you don't have the people that are in the first half hour of the movie, I believe, any mention of either of them, or Lil, but whatever. Joey, I agree. It's like they came together for a purpose, and it was not cool with an interesting Asian character turned into a placeholder or something. Yeah, I thought that was, I don't know. I didn't get it. They can revisit that passing car in season 4. I think now they're leaving things there, very ambiguous things. Hopefully, thank God Mark Frost didn't tell us who was driving the car in this. But now they can make that whatever they want with all these. You sort of give yourself little things so that you could maybe, let's have this car follow them, and let's not show who it is. Let's have it pass them on the side, and maybe we could do something with that later. Maybe not. Depends. What we want to do. The whole Diane arc really seems strange and sudden for me as well. I don't like that. The ending felt a little rushed. At least part 17, it was like slow, and then die. What? We live inside a what? Also, the whole thing with the timeline being one single timeline, I feel like kind of kills that whole we live inside a dream thing. You mean we live inside this fixed timeline is a dream? Are we living in, dreams can be manipulated? Is that what you mean? Sort of knowing how the timeline works kind of kills that for me too. It's like, it makes it a little bit less ominous and, interesting. We live inside a dream. We were going on crazy theories when that first came out, but now I'm like, I think you're talking out of your ass, Cooper. live inside a dream. Do you even know what you're talking about? I get a little bitter sometimes, if you if you couldn't tell. The car following Cooper and Laura could be a reference to the end Kubrick's Lolita. Oh, I didn't think about that. Interesting. I mean, every irrelevant character. Why not a cool one? I don't know. I guess it's whatever Mark Frost thought was interesting. Desmond was kind of important for the story to go forward. I agreed. Let's rock, and he goes back to find the ring. Where does he end up? Like, he just disappears? I don't know. The first episode is so strange and interesting. The guard leaves, and we don't know why. Evil Cooper goes to the evil hillbilly shack with all those interesting characters. He gives us little bits. Did you see the leaked post-credits Justice League scene? No. I don't think so. I didn't even know there was going to be one. I didn't think DC was going to do that, but please don't tell me. Nora says, and who is the dreamer? David Lynch and Mark Frost, I guess. Maybe they're just being coy. There's some things I'm wary about looking too into now, to be honest, but we'll see. Let's see if any information about season 4 comes out. Hopefully by the end of the year. But who knows? Walton said they had 18 hours. They hit their feet hard on the ground for that. The whole stuff lingers. Was not good complaining, but then in the last minute they just shoved all at once. Yeah. Freddie Sykes. Freddie. Are you Freddie? I don't like crapping on it because I like taking it at face value. Diving into it is also fun, but then some things you get, as a loyal fan, you're just kind of like, you could have done a little bit more here. You could have done something different. You could have taken a little bit of a risk. You could have made things a little bit more abstract, which is weird to say in a Lynch sort of venture, but we got it. I loved the return. This kind of, I don't know, it adds to it. It adds some stuff. It takes stuff away. Love the stuff about Annie. Love a little bit more confirmation with Audrey, since we didn't really get much with her, but it makes sense out of those scenes, which I think are warranted. I like that they explain Audrey. See, there's some things that I enjoyed explained to me, and some things I think are better left unsaid. What type of part would I want to play if Lynch gave the fans acting jobs in season 4? I would love, and this might be a small part, but I would love to be like a cook in the Double R, or maybe like the first guy waiter, besides Hank. I would love to like just wait on people at the Double R. I know that sounds like very provincial, but I think just working in the Double R would be a cool thing. Couldn't we have dropped Freddy and made James more relevant, had him defeat Bob? I don't get the point introducing that kid. There's a lot of weird stuff that sort of they threw in and didn't resolve. I think the whole thing with Freddy was just showing that Bob was small pickings. I think it was just, diminishing the threat of Bob. It's like this kid with a green glove destroys Bob. Now we're going to try to go and catch the evil of all evil. I get it, but Katrina says, imagine the stuff you would overhear working at the Double R. Probably a lot. I'm not saying they should please the viewers, far from that, but there are a million ways to tell the same story, convey the same message. Why did they choose that? I could never say. That is up to them. Maybe they don't know why. I know that's an easy answer, but they might not even know why. They might have been like a vision. I know I get these things too when I write stories. I sort of just get a concept in my head, like this young British kid destroys Bob. It seems like wild. It's like, let's do it. And then in execution, it's like a hit or miss. I could see like them like being like, what the hell? Like, that's kind of funny, kind of weird, kind of out of left corner. let's go for it. But then it's like, see, the thing is, I think we're too close to Twin Peaks, the original Twin Peaks. We've been watching it, since it ended. I don't think David Lynch and Mark Frost have. They're not. I mean, they're not hardcore fans of their own work. I don't think. They like to play in the world. They like to play with these characters, but they're not like. For them, they're doing their thing. They're writing their story. They're not trying to, resolve things. They're just trying to write their story. As the creators, not, fans. It must be a weird thing for them. I can imagine. It's easy for us to critique, but like, just imagine your show like has this dedicated fan base, but you've been working on other things. You don't really think about this show, and then all of a sudden it comes back and you're thrust into it. I don't think you just approach it like a fan would. You approach it like this is a new project, this is a new job. So it's difficult. I could see where it's difficult and why some things didn't happen the way we would have guessed they would have. But I did like the return, so there is that. Lots of opiate abuse, lots of armpit scratching at the double R. I really want to know more about Sky Ferreira's character. I love her music, so it's cool to see her in there, even though it was kind of like a kind of gross role where she's just like. Reggie says, "You hear that Justice League will include original Superman, Tim Burton, Batman theme?" Yes, I did. That's gonna be interesting. Probably hear a lot more at the Roadhouse, but then you'd have to work with the Renault Brother 2.0. I couldn't do that. I had good faith. I could not do that. Kai says, "I wish Sky Ferreira sung. Weird she didn't. I thought she was gonna be one of the musical acts too, but no such luck. It would have been cool. She has very Twin Peaks-ish music. She has a song called Sad Dream that would have worked out. What about the ages inconsistencies in the book? I think that's just, it might be a fault on Mark Frost, or it might be shoddy detective work by Tamara, or it could just be faltering evidence on paperwork due to, a lapsing timeline or a, distorted timeline. That's the easy answer, but I really don't know. I wonder if Frost or Lynch ever dropped anonymously into Reddit to check how involved people got. Maybe Frost, because I know he's, he does a lot of, he hangs out on the internet, Twitter a lot. Lynch, I'd be more surprised if he did, but I could see him maybe taking an afternoon maybe and just scrolling through to have a chuckle or something, or maybe get ideas, maybe get inspiration from the fans. You never know. I don't want to completely say he's like in a bubble, but I don't know. Sky Ferreira sang in a lot of Lynch tribute shows. Yes. Leslie, Leslie, your children are very prevalent tonight. A lot of name drops here. It's very convenient thing to introduce consistencies to cover up real inconsistencies. Wow, that may be lurking everywhere. I don't like that. Yeah, it seems like they're trying to course correct. The original Twin Peaks is going to be a place lost in time. It's going to be a very, bubble thing. I don't know if we're never going to get that Twin Peaks again. I don't think it exists anymore. It's very, it's going to be like sort of lost in time kind of thing. And maybe I could see them maybe seeing glimpses of the original Twin Peaks, these characters who have had very different lives, seeing maybe some sort of insight into this different reality where there were different people and different things happened to them. That would be interesting, seeing how they see different things happen. From the point Laura gets taken. Reggie, I did not see Mark Frost's Reddit about Dick Tremaine. He was another one that was missing from everything. Oh, I didn't know that about the Veil song. That's cool. Band is called Sound of Ceres. I'll check them out. Dick Tremaine became a real estate broker. I could see that. I'm not really surprised there. All right, guys. So we're in an hour. I didn't even expect this to go on this long, but we know how these things run. They're never short. I'll see if I could find that Reddit page and I'll tweet it out so everybody could check it out. Or I'll put it in the comments later so people who are watching this afterward can view it. It's hinted that Dick is Wally's dad. That would be sad, but I would not be surprised. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you off for today. This may not be the final thoughts of the final dossier. I just put a question mark because I don't know. Maybe there will be more information or thoughts to discuss. But I'm gonna do my little YouTube spiel now, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please do that. It helps out a lot. Getting these numbers up, getting these videos seen will bring more people into the conversation, so we could have even longer talks and whatnot. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe there. You can always follow me on Twitter. I'm there a lot, and if you ever want to discuss things or send me info, do it on the Twitter. Instagram is also the same. I post a lot of my photography there too, if you want to check that out as well. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys are here all the time, and I appreciate you guys for watching and coming back. Yes, thank you, Leslie. Everybody thumbs up this video. That also helps. And don't forget Cameron's Twin Peaks campaign is happening on Thanksgiving. It's launching on Thanksgiving, but check out his channel for more information in the coming days, weeks. That should be really exciting, and I'm excited to be a part of it and help him out with that in any way. But thank you guys for watching again. I hope to see you sooner than a week. It's been a while since I did one of these for real. But let me know on Twitter or leave a comment here in the chat real quick. What like days or times work best for you guys to do streams, or is any day okay? Because I might try to do streams on a consistent schedule. They're not going to be all Twin Peaks probably, but I'll just like talk about pop culture or whatever you want to talk about, music, or TV or movies or anything. I'm definitely doing Justice League on Thursday, so stay tuned for that if you're interested in that. Oh, it's breakfast time in New York. Well, have a good day. It's almost bedtime here. It's almost 9 o'clock where I am. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys finally. Thank you guys for tuning in after this short break I had. It's been a busy week, and I was sick, and I'm still kind of sick, but this was fun. I missed this. Reggie, I'm probably gonna do a Justice League live stream that night, Thursday night, into Friday probably. So if you want to catch me there, check out Twitter for a link or set alerts on or something. All right, guys, I shall catch you super soon. See you later.